In the vast historical tapestry of the 20th century, few leaders left as indelible a mark on their region as Gamal Abdel Nasser did on the Middle East. Rising from a modest background to become president of Egypt and the voice of Arab nationalism, Nasser not only reshaped Egyptian politics and society, but also played a central role in redefining the geopolitical orientation of the Arab world. His tenure spanned a period of global transformation, from the decline of colonial empires to the intensity of the Cold War, and in this context, he emerged as both a symbol of hope and a figure of controversy. Nasser's legacy is complex. He was a liberator, a reformer, a nationalist, and an autocrat. His life's work continues to influence Arab political thought and Egypt's national identity, even decades after his death. Gamal Abdel Nasser was born on January 15, 1918, in the Beykoz district of Alexandria, Egypt, to a middle-class postal worker. His family hailed from the rural province of Asyut, which exposed Nasser early on to the disparities between Egypt's urban elite and its impoverished countryside. His education in various cities, including Cairo, instilled in him both discipline and a sharp awareness of social injustice, particularly the widespread corruption of the monarchy and the overbearing influence of British imperial rule. Nasser's political awakening began during his teenage years. He participated in demonstrations against the British and closely followed nationalist figures such as Saad Zaghloul and Mustafa Kemal. His exposure to the failures of Egypt's monarchy during the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty of 1936, which granted nominal independence while retaining British control of the Suez Canal and military affairs, deepened his distrust of existing institutions. Determined to enact change, Nasser entered the Royal Military Academy and graduated in 1938. His military service took him to Sudan and later Palestine, where he observed firsthand the destructive consequences of colonial manipulation and the dispossession of Arab Palestinians. These experiences deeply radicalized Nasser and shaped the foundational elements of his nationalist ideology: anti-colonialism, pan-Arab unity, and state-driven modernization. Following the Arab defeat in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, where Egypt's under-equipped army was embarrassed on the battlefield, Nasser, alongside a group of like-minded young officers, formed the Free Officers Movement. This secret organization sought to end the corrupt monarchy of King Farouk and liberate Egypt from British control. The 1948 war proved to be the breaking point. Not only did Egypt lose militarily, but it also exposed the deep incompetence of the royal regime and the political elite. On July 23, 1952, the Free Officers staged a bloodless coup. Though the public face of the revolution was General Mohammed Naguib, Nasser was its principal architect. By 1954, after political infighting, Nasser emerged as the undisputed leader and was named Prime Minister, and shortly afterward, President of Egypt in 1956. Nasser's new government moved swiftly to abolish the monarchy, redistribute land, and purge the political landscape of pro-Western and reactionary forces. His leadership style was charismatic and authoritative, and his speeches resonated deeply with ordinary Egyptians who saw in him a leader who reflected their aspirations. Nasser's presidency was defined by a commitment to Arab socialism, which blended elements of socialism, nationalism, and state-led economic development. At the heart of his domestic agenda were three core priorities: economic modernization, social justice, and anti-imperial sovereignty. Nasser launched an ambitious land reform program in 1952, capping individual land holdings at 200 fedans and redistributing land to millions of landless peasants. This was a revolutionary act designed to undermine the traditional landed aristocracy and empower Egypt's rural poor. It was also a major blow to the political and economic power of the elite classes. The economy was increasingly brought under state control. Nasser promoted industrialization, built state-run factories, and invested heavily in infrastructure projects. Education and healthcare were expanded, and literacy campaigns were introduced to uplift the population. A central pillar of his economic modernization plan was the Aswan High Dam, which not only promised to control the flooding of the Nile and generate hydroelectric power, but also symbolized Egypt's technological and sovereign ambitions. Arguably, the most dramatic moment of Nasser's presidency came in 1956, when he nationalized the Suez Canal Company, previously controlled by British and French interests. This bold move was triggered by the West's withdrawal of funding for the Aswan Dam following Egypt's growing ties with the Soviet Union. In response, Britain, France and Israel launched a tripartite invasion to seize the canal and depose Nasser, a confrontation known as the Suez Crisis. Despite military losses, Nasser emerged politically victorious as the United States and the Soviet Union both pressured the invaders to withdraw. The crisis elevated Nasser's status to near mythic proportions across the Arab world. He had stood up to imperial powers and won. Nasser's ideology extended beyond Egypt's borders. He became the leading voice of Pan-Arabism, the belief in a unified Arab world based on common language, culture, and historical experience. He actively supported Arab liberation movements, funded anti-colonial struggles, and called for economic and military cooperation among Arab states. In 1958, Egypt and Syria merged to form the United Arab Republic, with Nasser as president. Though it was a symbolic step toward Arab unity, the union collapsed by 1961 due to tensions between the two governments. Still, the United Arab Republic served as a milestone in the Pan-Arab movement, and Nasser's popularity among ordinary Arabs remained strong. Nasser also co-founded the Non-Aligned movement, which sought an independent path for countries during the Cold War. He joined leaders like Yugoslavia's Tito and India's Nehru in promoting a third way, one that rejected both American capitalism and Soviet communism. Nasser's greatest political setback came during the Six-Day War in June 1967. Amid escalating tensions with Israel and Pan-Arab posturing, Nasser expelled United Nations peacekeepers from the Sinai Peninsula and closed the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping. Israel launched a preemptive strike, decimating the Egyptian Air Force on the ground and seizing vast territories, including the Sinai Peninsula, Gaza Strip, West Bank, and Golan Heights. The defeat was catastrophic. Egypt's military prestige was shattered, and Nasser offered his resignation on national television. However, mass demonstrations across the country demanded that he remain in power. He withdrew his resignation, but his aura of invincibility had been broken. In the years that followed, Nasser focused on rebuilding the military and defending his domestic legacy. While Nasser's accomplishments in education, healthcare, and infrastructure were undeniable, his regime was also marked by authoritarian rule. Political opposition was crushed, press freedoms curtailed, and civil society heavily monitored. The Muslim Brotherhood, once a powerful religious political organization, was harshly repressed after a failed assassination attempt on Nasser in 1954. Thousands were jailed, tortured, or executed. Although he built a personality cult around his leadership, Nasser maintained a strong connection with ordinary Egyptians, particularly through his charismatic speeches. His appeal was not based on wealth or military conquests, but on his narrative of resistance, pride, and transformation. On September 28, 1970, Nasser died of a heart attack at just 52 years old. His sudden death shocked the Arab world. Over 5 million Egyptians attended his funeral, and leaders from across Africa, Asia, and Europe came to pay their respects. Nasser's legacy is deeply contested. Supporters remember him as the great modernizer who gave Egypt dignity, uplifted the poor, and resisted imperialism. Critics point to his military failures, suppression of dissent, and over-centralized economy. Nonetheless, Nasser remains a towering figure whose vision continues to influence contemporary Arab politics. He was, at his core, a man of paradoxes, a reformer and a dictator, a secularist with Islamic sympathies, a nationalist who dreamed of unity. His vision for a proud, independent Arab world endures in the rhetoric of leaders and the dreams of many across the Middle East. Gamal Abdel Nasser's story is the story of modern Egypt's awakening. From colonial subjugation to national pride, from monarchy to republic, Nasser embodied the dreams and contradictions of a region striving for self-determination. He changed not only the fate of Egypt, but also the trajectory of Arab political thought, offering a model of governance, resistance, and reform that continues to spark debate and inspiration. In success and in failure, in triumph and in tragedy, Nasser remains one of the most compelling figures of the 20th century, an enduring symbol of defiance, dignity, and destiny. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.